Who took my Red Bull? Nah, someone took my Red Bull. You think if there's a Red Bull there, you just shouldn't take it? Nah, I will whip your ass. No one takes my Red Bull, isn't that right? Yeah, it is.
Sees me sleeping and he still wakes me.
He sees me sleeping and he still wakes me. He sees me sleeping and he still wakes me.
Good day, folks, and welcome back to Mic Check with Mr. Anderson, where today we'll be chatting about the greatest promos, 5 of the greatest promos. Hey, maybe even 10 if we get through them really quick. How are you doing, Ken? How was your week?
I'm fantastic, man. It's been a great week. We had. Oh no, you good?
Yeah, I think.
Had a fantastic week.
Sorry,
Can
is
you-
it just me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Connor, is he out
Can you
of
hear me
sync
now?
to you, Ken, or am I out of sync?
a little bit.
So can you hear me in
it's-
real time?
Mm-hmm.
I can see you just.
Oh no,
fine.
you're back now. Hold your hand up.
Yeah.
There we go. That's it. We're
Yeah, we're
back
good.
in sync. Sorry, I
Okay.
have no idea what happened there. But yeah, so you had a good week so far?
Had a fantastic week. We had the Hardy Boys at the Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did Matt's podcast. It's good to connect with. You know, I've said this before. We're like family when we're on the road. We're with each other 24/7 for a really long time, and then you just, you know, I haven't seen Matt, haven't talked to him in a long time, and just to sit down with him and connect, and like, you just pick right back up where you left off. So it's really fun. Some funny stories.
It was very good. It
Good
was like
times.
it was nice. It was nice to see the bond. I had not heard the story before about you being naked in the shower and Matt looking after you. That's when you know you've got a true friend, when they change their flight.
Yeah.
And really, I don't think from what it sounded like to me, it doesn't matter whether you know he missed 5 or 10 flights. He was not leaving you behind, and that's a true friend.
You know, you hear about in combat with a comrade, a fellow soldier goes down, and you face the fire. You know, it felt sort of like that, like no soldier left behind.
Yeah, that's
So-
amazing. You know, at least if you've got one of those friends in life, I think you're very lucky. But if you've got, you know, more than one, then you're spoiled, right?
Big time, big
It's
time.
amazing.
How are you guys doing?
Great. We just went to AEW Dynamite, Collision, and Ring of Honor all in the same couple of hours.
It was great.
Which, by the way, we will be putting out a vlog video very soon, which has us running up to people asking them to do their best Canada impression. So if you guys are watching and you were part of that, thank you very much. Great show. The whole thing went amazing. Afterwards, we went to the after party, Sweet Chin Disco, which is in Glasgow Garage. I think you guys call it the Garage. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah.
But went there, and it's like, imagine a nightclub that only plays wrestling themes, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Nigel McGuinness came out, done a magic show, and as I'm doing this, so I'm standing against the railing, and right next to me there's a chair, and out walks Mark Henry out of the blue. He wasn't advertised. He just sat next to me, and I was like, "Oh, hi," and he's just kind of chilling, and he was doing this whole. A couple of the other AEW wrestlers came and sat next to him, and the thing is, you can see. I think this is a fine line that you guys put up with. That I don't know how people can't be aware of it, right? But he looked like he was just sitting with his friends. So I'm like the closest person to him, and I'm not going to go up and be like, "Oh, hi, Mark. Hi, everybody else." I was like, he's with his friends.
Mhm.
But of course, you get those people, right? Walk straight up, cuts right in front of me, and is like, "Oh," and he's like this to Mark Henry, right? And Mark Henry clearly can see him, but he's ignoring him. He's choosing to ignore him. And
Yep.
then the guy just keeps persisting, right? And I was like, "Oh, here comes a teachable moment. I'm just gonna watch." And Mark Henry's like, eventually, like the people with him are like, "Go and just fucking answer him," right? And he's like, "What's up?" And the guy's like, "Oh, can you come up and get a photo with you?" He says, "I'm gonna be going up on stage, but when I come back down, I'll shake your hand. I'll take a photograph." The guy's still saying the same thing to Mark Henry, and he looks at us and he's like, "Does this guy not understand English or something?" And then the guy kind of got what Mark was saying and could see he was getting frustrated. So he just kind of took off with like a sore face. But I thought it's ridiculous when you see, like, okay, they're famous wrestlers on TV, but you can tell when they're up for hanging with everybody. Like Ricochet walked straight into us and started just kind of dancing about and hanging out with beer in his hand and stuff. He was
Mhm.
up for a party, but Mark Henry just kind of wanted to chill.
Yeah.
So, do you have any stories where that's kind of been the case with you, where you've no really been in the mood and someone's just pestered you?
Man, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head here. Um, but you always get that. You get fans who know the deal, who
Hmm.
understand, and then you get people who are just rude. Actually,
Yeah.
this is like just an example of a fan being very rude. Um, I was at we were in Detroit for WrestleMania weekend,
Hmm.
and one of we're there for an entire week or 5 days leading up to. I, I went to GameStop one of those days, and I'm
Hmm.
just sifting through, looking to grab something new, and this lady comes up to me and she goes, "You're not going anywhere, and just stay right there. You're not going anywhere." And she walked away. So I'm like, here we fucking go. All right. When she comes back, here's going to be a teachable moment for her. I'm gonna tell her what's up. And she came back and she had a 5-year-old kid in tow. And I was like,
Damn.
I'm not gonna cuss mom out in front of the 5-year-old kid. I'm not gonna punish the 5-year-old kid because mom is an idiot. So I just took the picture, shook his hand, talked to him a little bit. But it's interesting. You get fans like that here, and it only seems like you have those types of people here in the United States. I don't know
Mm.
what that is. I don't know what that is about our culture. Japan, I did 3 days of press over in Japan once with WWE, and I would leave my hotel. Our day would start at like 6 a.m. and I would come down to the lobby, and there would be 20 or 30 fans that somehow, some way knew that I was going to be starting my day at that time. And they would be sitting there, but they would just wait patiently. They were looking at me, making eye contact, like, we're here to see you. But they would wait until I would approach them, which I did. And then not only would they, ask politely, could I please take a picture with you? But they had something, they were like offering gifts. Like every single one of them said,
Oh.
I brought you this, it was like fans, and I got chopsticks, and I got some Hello Kitty stuff that I don't know why anybody thought at that time that I would want Hello Kitty. Now I would absolutely love it because my daughter is
Yeah.
totally into Hello Kitty. It makes sense now, but yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh
I
man.
got a funny Mark Henry story
Oh,
actually.
please do.
So his tour, my first overseas tour, I hurt myself. I injured myself. I tore my lat, but I didn't know that. I tore it on like the first or second day. It was in a 10-man tag match. Got drop kicked off the apron. landed wrong, tore my lat, but I didn't know it. And there was like 10 more days of the tour left. So what are we going to do? Right. So they started putting me in, like, we would do battle royals where I would roll out of the ring early, and then I'd come in and dump the last guy out at the last minute. And then one of the nights we were somewhere in Italy, they had me announce the main event. The main event was Mark Henry versus JBL. For some reason, Mark's flight, he was coming back from the US. He had some deal in the US, so he wasn't able to make the first couple of days. So his flight came in and it was late. So he, got to the building after the show had started. And Dean Malenko was the producer at the time, the road agent, and he told me, he's like, hey, when you introduce Mark, say, oh, it's nice of you to join us today, or something to that effect. So I did that, and I come back after the match, and Mark comes out of Gorilla, and now he's walking down the hallway, and he goes, oh, you're Mr. Funny Man, huh? You think you're funny? And I was like, he's like, I'm not laughing. Do you see me laughing? I'm not laughing. As he's walking towards me, just like Jason in the Friday the 13th movies, just, I'm not laughing. Do you see me laughing? I'm not laughing. And I was like, and now in my head, I'm going like, all right, I'm going to fight him. I got to fight him. Like, I have to. I'm going to die, but I'm going to fight him. I'm going to. And then I'm just kidding.
Damn.
Brother. And I was like, my life flashed before my eyes, literally.
Set you up real good. Funny thing is, yeah, of course, because you don't hear us. It's glitching out a little bit on. I don't know if it must be your
like
signal.
Pausing and then catching up,
and then you catch up.
Yeah.
So if it looks like we're not like listening to you, we are. But what happens is, I'll show you what in real time. This is what happens. You'll be talking, and then you'll go. But we can then hear. We can still hear you. It's just the ways of the universe, man. That's just what happens. But it doesn't matter because we're here to have fun, and that's what we're having. We've got a super chat from our man, Matthew Man, who he's the guy that designed the logos and everything for the show.
Awesome.
Matthew Man, that's really kind of you, mate. You shouldn't we pay you, man. Hello guys, I'm drunk enough to do a super chat. I'm a movie guy 100%. What's Ken's favorite flick?
True Romance.
All right.
You guys know it?
Yeah, of course.
I love that movie. It's Christian Slater. There's just so many iconic scenes in the movie. I believe it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. It was written by Quentin Tarantino. I don't think it was directed by him. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. But it's got Christian Slater, Val Kilmer makes an appearance in the movie. Samuel L. Jackson is in the movie briefly. Patricia Arquette. There's just so many. Trying to think of some of the bigger names off the top of my head.
Juliette Lewis is in that, isn't she?
No,
is she not? I'm thinking.
No, Brad Pitt is in the movie briefly. Does a cameo in it. Who's the guy, the heel from Speed?
Dennis Hopper, no?
Dennis Hopper,
isn't it? Yeah.
Who's the guy? More cowbell.
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. He's in the movie.
It's a who's who.
God dang it! He's like one of my favorite, like top 5 favorite actors of all time.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
He's many things. His sister's in EastEnders. You won't know what EastEnders is, right?
I feel like I've seen that.
It's a British, a British soap opera.
Yeah.
Well, his sister is like a mainstay in that, but because he's such a Hollywood actor, you don't assume that his like a sibling of his would just be like on soap TV, you know. But he says he's
Yeah.
very proud of all her accomplishments. Little Mo, I can't believe I'm talking to Mr. Anderson about Little Mo. You know what I mean? Craziness, man, craziness. So the first part of the show, like we can do some questions right now. Ken wants to hear from you guys, so chuck them in the comments. I see that we are filling up a little bit with some comments, some questions. It doesn't have to be specific to promos, because we're going to get into that and give you Ken's thoughts on that anyway. I'm just Chavez says, is this only WWE promos or TNA and WWE? It's wrestling in general. So,
Yeah.
but I think like, I don't know. Maybe you'll be mentioning any from NWA. Maybe.
No, the only ones I have here are WWE and I got a TNA one in there too.
Oh, nice.
Just
nice.
out of curiosity, what's your favorite promo that's of your own?
Of my own?
Of your own promos?
There was one that I did. Now I have no idea what this was, where you would even find this. I've actually tried to find it and I cannot. There was a promo that I cut on the Undertaker, but it was done as a backstage, I was just sitting in there was a black background. I'm wearing a black shirt and I'm just talking to the camera one-on-one, and it was really calm, talking about the Undertaker and his legacy and how I was gonna destroy it. It was the build-up for one of our pay-per-view matches, and like I've talked about this before, how Vince went from, he didn't give me any parameters, no guidelines whatsoever, just go out there and get over with the crowd, to stop being so goddamn funny. And it was a struggle, week after week after week. I said, I come through the curtain. That was the shit. And it just like, okay, what do I do? And I'm just dialing it down. And finally, I worked with Dave Lagana on this one. He was the head writer. And I did this promo, and Vince actually told me that it was one of his favorite promos he's ever heard. At the time, he told me that it was good. It was like, I'm just begging for a pat on the back from him, or you're at least traveling in the right direction, pal.
Keep the headphones on when you come back through,
Yeah.
Damn.
So it was good. Like, I love that promo so much. It's one of the best I've ever heard.
Oh, nice.
On that note, what about the exact opposite? What is your worst promo that you've ever cut?
My worst promo that I've ever cut?
Yeah.
Man, there's nothing that I can think of that was like well, I'll tell you, and we've actually talked about it before, it makes me cringe. And I still hear a lot of people will say, oh, I love this promo when you cut this. But that one where I buried WWE and Triple H in TNA, the one where I double dipped, where I went out and I cut it like the mild version, and then the G rated or the PG version, and then I hate that promo. I really don't like it at all.
Do you think Vince? Sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, one of the things that if I go back and I watch, like, the promo on Raw, it was my first night on Raw, but I shit the bed. That promo. I listened to that promo and I can see that I'm regurgitating, it's not coming from here. Mm-hmm. It's not coming from my heart. It's coming from, memorization. And I think too, the big thing that was missing, and I've talked about this, is like the ability to, like I hated the PG stuff. I just hated it. I wish that I had been able to do, you know, and I'm not talking that I had to swear just for the sake of swearing, but I really, really wish that I was able to not have to worry about that all the time.
Yeah. I think anything can be used, like, it is always about the placement. You know, for example, WWE Unreal shows Triple H telling the producers, Cody's going to say, go fuck yourself, and we're not going to bleep it. I'm okay with this, right? That made sense for how monumental it was. And two of the biggest things for me in wrestling are your moments and your promos. Everything else is kind of secondary. If I'm not mistaken, those are the things we remember. Because when I was looking down the list of my favorite promos, I was thinking there was things I wanted to put in there, and I went, that's actually a moment. That's not just a promo. That's a moment. You know. So for me, that's kind of the way I feel about that. If something's used correctly at the right time, then it should be okay, because sometimes it needs it. Like bleeding, for example.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to John Moxley it and just like gush every time you're on TV.
He didn't bleed on Wednesday.
Well, that's
surprisingly.
Shocker. Well, I was like, I better get our raincoats on, lads. But John Moxley came out and absolutely like went. I think it's.
Oh yeah. Why? What was the match?
It was John Moxley and Cesaro.
By the way, 6-man tag, was it right?
Yeah, it's Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli in real life, mate. He is. He's a statue. He's a walking statue. You looked at him, and I was like, that's not a real human. And then that only further was confirmed when Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin walked out. I was like, these are fucking gods zapped to the earth based on their physical, just like their star power, their physical presence. They came out and I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, it was a 6-man tag, and Moxley, the Death Riders, who were they up against again? Brody King? No,
that match was later.
Well, but he didn't bleed. Well, he didn't bleed. Sorry. Another thing I wanted to ask you as well. It's a new experience for us, because we're from Scotland. We're starved of great TV tapings, right? But we saw the Young Bucks come out like with no end. Like, so at home when you watch TV and then it cuts from commercial, and then the superstar's already in the ring, right? We got to see how that happens, and it's just like, well, they just walk. Jobbers. That's people were screaming jobbers at the Young Bucks as they walked, not even down the ramp. They just kind of came from the side of the ramp and snuck into the ring, stood there, and then I could see it from a production standpoint where the TV would come back, and they're just doing this in the ring, and I'm thinking, one, why? Surely it can't be based. Surely they're not cutting time, because there was things that they could have cut time to save for an entrance. And two, that's the Young Bucks. Well, love them or hate them, they've got name value. They deserve a fucking entrance, right?
Yeah, they're the only ones that didn't get an entrance.
I wonder what the reasoning was.
I don't know. It was a strange one, wasn't it?
I'll ask somebody. I'll ask MVP if he knows.
We didn't
just
see
curious,
MVP.
you know.
Yeah,
be good.
interesting.
That'd be good to know. But usually in those cases, the person actually does get an entrance. It's just dark, you know. It's just not on TV. So like if somebody comes out, they'll come out during commercial break. They'll come out there. They'll get a full entrance and everything. But producers will say like, get to the ring quickly, just so that you know.
But for time's sake, I just thought it was very interesting that guys like the Young Bucks would just walk down the side, unless it's part of their whole gimmick. But I don't think they show that on TV. Them just like walking. And by the way, one of the biggest takeaways of the night for me was being in the audience when Mercedes Moné came out.
Yeah.
No one was arsed. There was no cheer, nothing.
No?
And yet, no, nothing. Like, there wasn't like, boo, we don't like her. There wasn't, yay, we love her. Just nobody was arsed.
Yeah.
Why?
Then Tony Storm came out.
And the place was like, wow.
Went
right?
crazy.
Why? I think, I don't know. As a fan,
she's over.
I mean, like with Mercedes Moné right now, I feel like she plays like she's playing a character. Do you remember when Roman Reigns was Roman Reigns, but he was like uncomfortable Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
I feel like she's comfortable, but we're getting the Roman Reigns version of her, big dog version, and not like I'm not saying that she's not good or anything or any of that, because people
Right.
loved her in WWE,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
something doesn't click, something doesn't work, and I don't know if it's she's got creative control, brother. Oh, in fact, actually, I have a sound for. I was uploading some sounds just to. Where is it?
Doesn't work for me, brother.
So did you
What was
hear
that?
that? No.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
There are quite a few of those that I've got here for when they're apt, but I love that. People comparing her to Hulk Hogan in his WCW creative control days, and I think maybe they've pulled the curtain too much with Mercedes Moné. Whatever it is, it was awkward because I looked to her friends and I was like, that this is a strange feeling. No one's cheering, but no one's booing. Like no one's arsed, you know. And there was people that
No one's arsed. Is that what you said?
No reaction, mate. We're not
Arsed.
bothered.
So, you ever heard the expression "can't be arsed"? Like, no.
No.
Can't be
So,
bothered.
Like can't
Ar-
be fucked. Can't be
Yeah,
fucked.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, arse is bum in Scotland.
Right.
Arse. So,
Yeah.
he put him on his arse. He knocked
Yeah.
him on his bum.
Yeah.
So, if we say "can't be arsed," it's like, nah, fuck that. No worth it. You know what I mean?
Huh.
So, it's like,
First time I've heard that one.
I need to hear you use it now.
Can't be arsed.
Excellent. But yeah, so people just they just were not into it at all when she came out, which was strange. It's not nice to see that for someone, you know,
Yeah.
when that's the thing that they do. Guys, fill up the comments. Grado Mania. Here we go. Matthewman says Grado Mania was running wild in Glasgow.
Was it?
Correct. We knew it was going to happen. What shocked us more than Grado appearing was the fact that Tony Khan paid for Madonna as his theme song. So he did. He's-
Can I just tell you that I got this from Davari, but Davari used to, if he was in a bad mood when we first opened up the academy, and he was in a bad mood a lot of times, and he would put the Gradoberg entrance
Yes.
from the ICW show. It's still, it's one of my favorite. Every few weeks, I'll I'll play it because it's just so awesome.
Hell yeah.
I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy that Tony paid for the Madonna thing.
Right?
How crazy were the fans?
One thing, whether people even liked Grado or not, the Scottish always back the Scottish, which is why if they're in talent shows and that, even if they're not great, they always win. But people love Grado, right? So you've got the fact that he's our guy and they love him. So yeah, place went mental. It's pretty cool. And usual, I was at All In when they done Wembley the first year and Grado was there. I don't think he came out to Madonna, but he was there. So it's good. It's quite cool to see because I don't think we've ever seen Grado in WWE. We've seen him in TNA because he worked there quite a bit. But I wonder where it is. Is it maybe just they don't get Grado? Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's like so Scottish, like too Scottish. The opposite end.
Yeah.
It's like he's too Scottish. Screw that. But it's good. He's just become part of a really big radio station here, so it's really cool to see him do what he loves. He's a great case of a guy being who he is. Doesn't even need to turn up to 12. He just is him, and that's what works for him. It's pretty amazing.
I love him. I absolutely love him.
You got any good Grado stories? I heard one actually. Before you say that, right? Two of your friends, Grado told a story on his podcast about Hornswoggle, right?
Yeah.
He and Dylan were out to dinner, and someone came up and asked Hornswoggle for a picture, right? And Hornswoggle was like, "Yeah, sure." Took the photo and says, "That'll be 10." It's like, "That'll be 10," and Grado's like, "I didn't know where to look."
He was just ribbing him though, right? Like, nah,
The fan paid 10.
no,
Ask Grado. Ask Grado.
no fucking way.
This is a story of Grado's.
I
was on
gotta
his-
ask. I'm asking Dylan. I'm gonna ask him.
I don't even know would he even remember something like that, but I'll need to
I
find
can
the
see
clip.
Dylan. I can see Dylan doing that just to pop the boys.
Probably. But
Yeah.
I found it so funny. I think Grado said on his show, he's like, I didn't know where to look.
That's like some Virgil stuff. Virgil used to do stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Virgil.
You know,
God
you'd
rest
walk
his
up to
soul.
somebody would be like, "Yeah, hey, are you Virgil? Yeah, man. Yeah, you want a picture? Yeah. Let's take a picture. Okay, all right. That's 20. That'll be 20. You know, watch the fan. The go. What? Well, okay, all right. And you know they don't want to say. They're not going to say no to him. They're not going to
Oh,
argue with him, so they, you know, they just get like guilted into it. Amazing.
that's brilliant. It's a great rib as well. I think even Maven does that when he's out and about with his camera. The guys come and take a photo and he's like, okay, it'll be 20. And then he's like, I'm just kidding with you. Hi, guys, I'm just kidding with you.
I'm just kidding with you.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
when I was at TNA, or part of the time that I was at TNA, they were doing these fan meet and greets where they would open the doors like an hour early, and they would make us go stand out by the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be like, you know, I'm telling you, everybody from Ric Flair to Sting to RBD, the Hardys, Kurt Angle, everybody out, and fans could come through and get autographs and stuff.
Wow.
And the Pope he put out a collection plate once, and fans were actually paying. So it was like none of us were getting paid extra for these heat and greets, but Pope got some extra cash.
Hey, what better way to get fans through the door? Like, it's one thing seeing a wrestling show, but knowing that you can go in like that's added value. Truly.
Yeah, but it's just like too accessible, I think. You know, it's too.
Yeah.
There is something to, like, celebrity is a work, really, at the end of the day. But you know, it's like the difference between WWE would do appearances where you would show up in a limousine, right? Like I do an appearance at a Best Buy,
Mm-hmm.
and they would, you know, say the appearance is going from 11 to 1. And we would show up in a limousine, and we would specifically we would drive by the line of fans, and then we would pull around the back, and then you go in through the back door or whatever. And when I got to TNA, it was like, hey, you've got a fan interaction or a meet and greet and they would give us the address. You're at you know, it would be like one of those gimmick cell phone places, you know, like the Cricket or not Cricket. You know what I'm talking about? Do you have those over there?
AT&T?
Like, no,
Kinda.
yeah. So say it would be like the AT&T thing, whatever. And they just just go there, and then I would show up in my rental car and park in front of the fans, and then walk through the door with the fans. And it's just, we're doing the same exact thing, but one like looks so much more professional and so better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, now I think they
Flair,
charge thousands sometimes.
Flair hated doing these meet and greets, man. He was so mad because
He said that, yeah.
He's been very, very, I don't want to say stingy, right? But like, he doesn't give out, he doesn't do or hadn't done a lot of meet and greets, didn't give out a lot of autographs and stuff. He has no problem if a fan comes up to him and asks for a picture. No.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Damn.
and there's video of it, right? Like,
there's plenty, yeah.
my favorite thing, but he said like everything. I remember him saying like TNA has undone in 2 months what it took me 30 years to build.
As
Because he was giving out so many autographs.
Yeah, I understand, because from what I saw of him online, interviews and stuff, he was like, I'm Ric Flair. You should just see me before the show. You know what I mean? He's like, there's value in that. And I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, like, that's what he signed up for when he joined TNA, right?
Yeah.
TNA isn't WWE. And he got the flowers and everything in WWE, but
Sure.
it's his own reasoning, and Ric Flair, with him being like that, that's the character. He could just put it all down to being Ric Flair, right? Because Ric Flair is also a character, right? So he's keeping up with appearances there. But I think it's amazing that you could go to a show and be able to meet the wrestlers. I do agree though, it's quite accessible, like maybe too accessible.
Yeah.
Is something special when it's readily available.
Yeah. Also, the presentation of it too. I guess the way that it was done, it was just so random. It was like,
right.
Instead of, you come through. Maybe there's a line of like everybody's at a table, where you just go down the line. It was just just random.
Yeah, I think nowadays, and you'll have experienced it yourself, there's a lot of great conventions out there. I think the only thing is this, right? When I look at a wrestling convention, and nearly every wrestler that's there is like $100. I'll say bucks, right? Because it's whatever currency it's in. So it'd be pounds here.
Yeah.
Like, man, I've got at least 5 people I'd love to meet, but now like 500. What? Do you know what I mean? It's just sometimes it's a bit too. You're cut off a bit. Someone even said here and they were. Michael Hubbard said it was awkward approaching the wrestlers at conventions without giving them money. I found that's true, like, because you assume because there's a handler there and that because it's at the end of the day it's a transaction. You assume that, well, I don't want to go up and be cheeky and just say hi, but at the end of the day, take the picture. This is the only time I might ever be able to go up and say to that person,
Sure,
like, what you did gave me something special in my childhood. So I for me, it depends. If I really like the person, most of the time, if I'm at a convention, I'm usually doing like press for it, so I can just go up my camera and be like, hey, I approached Marty Jannetty for an interview once, and he was like, no, I'm not allowed. I was like, no, but you are, because the woman that runs this like says we could, and he was like, oh no, I'm not allowed. I was like,
You just didn't want to.
I was like, but you are. Do you know what I mean? And I found I had the best rapport with him that weekend. He told some crazy funny stories. You ever meet much of Marty Jannetty?
I got to work. I worked him one time. I was doing a little program with Shawn Michaels, and we were going through. I brought out a bunch of people. Like, I remember we had a bunch of extras. Gunner he was one of the extras that played Scott Hall. But I brought out Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Marty. I don't remember who it was that who played those different characters. But then one of the weeks I brought Marty out and I actually worked him in a match. It was on a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Gunner, you say
But
that.
But to answer your question, I never had a whole lot of interaction with him. Like I never got any stories out of him or anything like that.
I watched him walk, and I know that he has a dodgy ankle, right? But I didn't realize how bad it was until I saw it in person.
That's what everybody says. Like, what's the deal?
Mate, his foot's like so.
Is it like a club foot?
Hold on, and I'll get my Stevie Richards figure. I'll show you. Right, so this foot here is like completely. Imagine it's completely on its side. So when he's walking on like the stub of his ankle, because his foot's just like almost as like it's someone's taken a saw, cut it, and just like moved it, and he walks like that. I was like, what? I knew it was bad. I just didn't know it was that bad.
He should get in. He should get in touch with Buff Bagwell.
It's to start a faction.
No. Fucking Bagwell just had his leg cut off.
Yeah.
Like Bagwell just had and it was like an optional thing, right? Like he did it intentionally. Like,
yeah.
So obviously the thing ain't working anymore. So let's
Let's just take off.
Seems
You
like
just-
it would. Seems like that would be the if you can't get it fixed, maybe take it off would be the.
Yeah, I suppose. Right?
Although, so like here's the thing: in the U.S., we don't have free medicine here.
That's right.
You know, would that type of say somebody was like that in the UK?
Yeah.
Would they be able to get that taken care of?
They can get new boobs in the UK.
Yeah,
Huh?
it might take a while though. It might take
You
a
go
while.
you go to the doctors, and this is male or female, by the way. Go to the doctors. I feel sad. Why? Because I don't have boobs. So they'll start you on like antidepressants or whatever, and then just the more you pester, oh, I'm sad because my boobs suck. No pun intended. My boobs are. Eventually, you'll get free boobs. It's all about how much you can complain. One thing we can't complain about is how good we do have it. If I have an issue and I go to the doctors, you walk away that day with medicine, and that's it. They'll
Yeah.
literally just sign a wee thing, and that's it. You know,
Here you've got. He obviously doesn't have health insurance, so he's got a fucking. His foot is sideways. He walks on, like this stub.
shit, eh?
Here we would rather do that than go to the doctor because it's going to cost him $100,000 to do that on his own, whatever.
It's a sign of the times, eh? One thing I really admire about Chris Jericho is anytime you see any wrestler, whether he knows them or not, anytime you see any wrestler fall on hard times, Jericho always will financially throw an aid their way. And
Yeah.
his reasoning for doing it, he says, was his career doesn't exist without the people that paved the way. And the people that paved the way never had it as good as the guys from his generation onwards. There wasn't enough money in the industry for them to come out of it and have a and because he's in a position where he can spare money to help them, he always does. So that's really cool. On the Jericho news, before we get over to the promos, there is rumors, and they're heavy rumors right now. The same type of rumors that when could you believe that Cody Rhodes at the time was going to leave AEW and go back to WWE? Right? Everybody was like, no chance. He's joking for all reasons, right?
Yeah.
But right now, it's the Jericho's liking, and this is what happens. I don't know if you'll know this, Ken, right? But from this side of the fence, okay, as fans, they scrutinize everything. Jericho's liking tweets about Jericho going back to WWE, right? So he knows what he's doing because he knows that people are going to see that he's like that, and the dirt sheets are going to be like, oh. So whether he's using it for leverage, which I don't think, based on everybody's impression of Tony Khan, I don't think you need leverage with Tony Khan. I think Tony Khan truly sees the value in the people that he hires and looks after them. So I don't think that that's a game you need to play with AEW, but you might need to play it with WWE. There are rumors that Jericho may end up in the Royal Rumble or go back to WWE. Now, whether or not he does, right, that's cool. It's cool wherever he goes. But the question I wanted to ask you is truly on the mindset of a wrestler. So if when you went from WWE to TNA, right, and say you got there and at the point everybody's like, TNA wouldn't be at this level without Anderson, because let's face it, Jericho in the early days of AEW, he really did elevate it. So
He really launched it, right?
So it's fair. It's really fair to say that. So with that bond with AEW, right, where Jericho was clearly presented the way Jericho felt he should be presented, right? Paid better than he ever has, able to creatively spread his wings. What would it take for you, if you were in that position, to consider jumping back to WWE, knowing, and it's not like he would be going back to the WWE he knew. He would be going back now to a WWE that he sees based on even something he had a huge part in. His involvement with AEW helped wrestlers in WWE get better contracts at the time.
Sure.
Right? So his footprint is now he's part of a small part of why WWE is in a different place right now. Obviously, we know there are other factors, but what would it take for you to go to seriously look at that conversation? Is it a monetary thing? Is it legacy? What would it be?
I think I think it's money. I think Jericho is like his legacy's pretty cemented, right? Like
100%.
he's obviously he's had a hell of a career. He's done so much. I at this point, it's like he's entertaining himself, and he's just like, what do I want to do now? I've done this for so long. That has run its course. Now I'm ready to move back over here. WWE is obviously way different than it was when he left, like as you said. So it's like, I'll go do this now for a little while. It's like, we only have so much time on our bodies. He can only wrestle for probably not, my guess would be that Jericho is going to retire in the next 10 years, right? Like that's a pretty safe thing to.
I would say less than 10.
Yeah. I mean, 10 years is like being generous. It's like I would assume that he's taken care of financially, like, so it's not really a money thing. Just he's entertaining himself.
Yeah. And do you think, well, my friend Todd says he is the Paul Stanley of wrestling. So are you a Kiss fan? Does that reference
Not
make
really.
sense?
No, I'm not. I don't understand that reference.
I think Jericho would be heavily flattered by that. It's like, even like talking about himself in the third person, well, what would Chris Jericho do? I mean, that type of thing. I think I've seen interviews where Chris Jericho has said the Hall of Fame doesn't mean nothing to me, right? Don't know if I believe it, right? But I've seen interviews where he goes, I will never work for WWE again. I'm happy at AEW. I'll see my career out in AEW. Then I've also seen these interviews. Would I go back to WWE? Well, it's funny you should say that. Of course, if the right thing. So like, he has changed his stance. So with that in mind, I believe Jericho is concerned about the Hall of Fame. I do think he wants to be in the Hall of Fame. Why wouldn't you? And if it's no question, Jericho has a seat in the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame. Definitely. Of course he does. And I think maybe with his career maybe dying down, if that's where it's going, because you can never tell with Chris Jericho. We thought it was dying down when he wrestled Fandango at WrestleMania.
Right.
And then we saw a complete resurgence for Chris Jericho. So
sure,
you can never count him out. But it would be interesting. And you know what? Speaking for most of the fans here, I think everybody wants to see Jericho back in WWE.
Why is everyone talking about the Rumble though? Because I feel like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen sooner. I think he's a fair opponent for Cena, and as part of his retirement tour, they had some pretty decent matches together many years ago.
How much time does he have? What is Cena got? 10 dates left?
Something like that, yeah. So I think he's got Clash in Paris, which is spent with Logan Paul, but I think there's something bigger to that. Then there's WrestlePalooza, which hasn't been confirmed, but it's Brock. It's Brock. I assume there'll be another pay-per-view after that, but before Survivor Series, and then there'll be the Saturday Night Main Event. So he's got the next two, which we know about theoretically, and he's got 3 more after that.
What's the last one supposed to be?
It'll be a gauntlet match. That'll be a gauntlet match with everybody that he's ever fucked over. One at a time. I'm joking.
I would love to see Wade Barrett come up.
LFG.
Hell yeah. That would be quite funny.
If only this were real, right? Like...
I know. I don't know why they like. Sometimes they just need like the writers need to like sit in a room with fans and talk, because sometimes like we love this shit so much that we just go off on our own and go, how cool would this be? How much would you know what I mean? So if they're ever stuck, just reach out, man. We're all here. We're everywhere. Just read.
Well, Vince. It's funny if Vince was still operating things, he would do that. He would have you guys come in just to do the exact opposite of that. Like,
I don't know.
This will
Yes,
really
yeah.
suck. They'll
I have-
fucking hate this.
Mate, and we felt like that, but you know what? I think I'd be the type of guy that would be able to pitch things to Vince that he would use. For example, Buff Bagwell versus Matt Jannetty, leg on a pole match. Like, is that not Vince McMahon? That's Vince McMahon, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
If you were playing to Vince McMahon, which is, by the way, as
Leg
a
on a pole match.
100%, as a trainer, right? If Vince was still in power in WWE, I think part of your course would have to be learning how to navigate Vince McMahon, because there's learning to wrestle, learning how to be a wrestler, learning how to do the business, but then Vince McMahon's a whole other part that you really have to figure out yourself, right?
Oh yeah, big time.
You know, because you were saying, oh, that shat the bed. You're like, but you're doing everything that you were taught, all the things that naturally come to you as a professional wrestler, as someone that's learned how to do it. You're being told sucks, and you can't really figure out why. So you're just going out with something that's been said to you that you really, you know what I mean?
The one thing that I wish that I would have done, and honestly, is I wish I would have fucking blown up at him one time.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you want from me.
Yeah.
Seriously, like things would have been different, I guarantee. Because like I've heard several different. Jericho's got a great story in his book where he talks about he was the first unified when they first unified the belts, right? Remember? They're the titles, goddammit. The belt is something that holds your pants up. But they first united those titles, and he won it. And then like 3 weeks later, he shows up to TV, and they're gonna take the title off him. And then so he finds out. Well, yeah, I think it was Hunter at the time. Triple H is burying you to Vince, and so Vince is going to take the title off you and put it on Hunter. And he walked in, he barged into Vince's office, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I earned this. You look at the numbers that I draw on merchandise, and you listen to the people out there, and I belong here. Whoever is burying me to you can go fuck themselves. And quite frankly, if you're listening to them, which you obviously are, you can go fuck yourself too. And he said, Vince, there was this like pause. And he was like, all right, well, here we go. I'm going to get fired or,
Yeah.
And he goes, Vince just went, yes. Yes. That's what I'm looking for. That's your fucking passion. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And he was the guy.
Yeah.
And he stayed the guy. And they completely rewrote TV that night. And he kept the title for a couple more months.
There was something amazing. I think was it you or Matt said on the podcast with Matt that you ask what is it you guys want in WWE, and they say we can't tell you, but we'll tell you when we see it.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's what it is, right?
It was Dr. Tom. I asked Dr. Tom, I'm like, what do I need to do? Because I was trying to get a job. What do I need to do? What are you guys looking for? And he was like, honestly, if we knew, we would bottle it and sell it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. However, I do know when I see it. So that's just for people who are trying to get in the business, trying to, break that door down. Just keep trying different things and just get yourself out there. No today only means no today. It doesn't mean it's not a permanent no. That can change.
Of course. What was it? 300 no's and 1 yes is still a yes.
Yeah. Yep.
In the right
That
context.
sounds like a family. That's a Family Guy skit.
Yeah, I think I've got a sound for that.
Let's do this.
My favorite, man. My favorite. So we're gonna chat a wee bit about your favorite promos, right?
Yeah.
So this isn't like the best according to the world. This is the best according to Ken Anderson, and why, right? I've spent all day thinking about this, And for me, what I deem like the best are promos where you go, the wind changed in the industry here. Something changed after this promo. That to me is the greatest promo. And then there's promos you like. So what to do is we're gonna ask you, and then we'll just kind of shoot it a little bit based on your opinion of it and why you think they're great promos. So who would you have at number 5, which would be, so we'll go 5 to 1, number 1 being the greatest.
So, and again, this is like, these numbers are, it's hard for me to label them like,
of course,
1 through 10 or whatever, right? 1 through 5. But I'm just, and to me, what you're talking about makes perfect sense. The business of the promo, right? That's really ultimately like what the promo is for, is to put asses in seats. However, in putting this list together, this is literally just what I like. Shit that entertains me. And so number 5 would be the build up to the 2002 Royal Rumble. There was a Monday Night Raw promo, Steve Austin talking to Michael Cole about how he was going to, it was like a bar. He went into a bar. Do you know what I'm talking about? He got into a bar fight, and he started throwing people out the door, and that would be my that'd be my number 5. I just love that promo. And one of the things is like the thing that is special about that particular promo was it was all on the fly, which is a really awesome thing about Steve himself. Is most of the stuff that he did, he loved to do it on the fly. He's so good. And I think people don't understand, like people who watch wrestling, even people who don't watch wrestling, think that it's completely scripted and that we practice all this stuff and we rehearse. Steve was a complete on the fly guy. And I got an interesting story, as like a little bit of a story that like maps onto that. But go ahead, you had some thoughts about that.
So no, I remember that. This is the one where at this point he hadn't been in the ring for a while, am I correct? And he was returning, and it was kind of a way to get Stone Cold back. It's almost like they were trying to get him back. Am I correct in saying that's the one you're talking about? Yeah.
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know what the exact like build up to it was or whatever. I just remember the promo itself.
If I remember correctly, because this was at the time where I was watching regularly as a kid, they were trying to get Steve Austin back because he was gone for a while, and this was, I think, every week they were trying to find him, and they found him that week in a bar, and he's just kind of being Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's hard to pick a good Steve Austin promo when his promo is essentially one of his promos are Mount Rushmore, right? But it's really cool to see that, like, and as well, like, he started the watch chant in a promo. His promo changed the wind to this day. Still, what? You know, you guys had to actually fight against it. We
love him and I hate him for that.
Yeah, totally. Michael Hubbard is a new YouTube member. Thank you very much for being a member.
Welcome aboard, Michael. Thank you very much.
100%. And stay tuned for all the glorious content. If you do want to become a member, you can do that by hitting the join button. Do that, and you will have opportunities that are not known to man, but only to our YouTube subscribers / members. So make sure you do that. Also, by the way, you can go to EMEET and our link that's in our description and our affiliate Rogue. Look at this. Look. Hey.
You're beautiful.
I know, right? Repping it real cool. We've got a cool t-shirt on as well. Stay tuned. We'll get all that stuff really, really soon. But I really enjoying that part of things. The creation and the creation. Aye. That's what I'm looking for. Aye. I love the artistic creation, which is all Matthew Man. So I like One of my favorite Austin kind of backstage promos was with Kurt Angle. You know, when they both showed a funny side. I was even having a conversation. Yep, exactly.
Cowboy hat.
And those were two guys that could be funny, but could still kick your ass, and everybody knew it. And I think that's when funny's okay, is when you don't have nothing to prove.
Funny never draws money.
What about Jimmy Carr? He sells out tours all over the world. He's funny. He goes, it's like a build, and you're off. Another new member, Matthewman. What are you doing, son? Look, this has been
This is a few extra drinks now.
We're on a streak tonight. That's amazing. Thank you and welcome, Matthewman.
Thank you, Matthew.
Back on Z says, LA Knight is Mr. Kennedy's son. You know Vince would book that shit, right?
We're like the same age.
You're his son then.
One time, this just reminds me of Matt Hardy and I were riding together, and we were at a gas station or a restaurant or something like that. This guy came up to us, and the guy was clearly like fucking 10 years older than Matt and I. And he was like, I grew up watching you guys. And Matt was like, that's not possible.
Was it R-Truth by any chance?
I know. Or, by the way, Bobby Lashley or Shelton Benjamin, because those guys have not aged in the slightest.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
What the hell? Still look the
The
exact
first, you brought up Bobby Lashley earlier, and I was going to mention this. Like, my first day at OVW, so Dreamer told me when I first got to Louisville, I called him and I said, like, I'm here. Can I go introduce myself? And he was like, and it was funny because like he didn't know that I was actually moving. I just did that all on my own because I was in like a holding pattern where he said, you're hired, you're gonna go to OVW, but I don't know when your start date is. So I went and I found an apartment, moved my stuff down there, and I called him and I was like, hey, I'm in Louisville. Do you think that I could go introduce myself and I can go? And he was like, oh, are you down there looking for an apartment? And I was like, no, I live here. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm here. And he goes, oh, well, you can start tomorrow if you want. And I literally, he goes, go to OVW. He gave me the address. He goes, go knock on the back door. Somebody will let you in. It's TV taping tomorrow. Go let yourself in and then just introduce yourself. And then you can start the next day.
Wow.
So go to TV, watch, and then you can start practicing on Thursday. So I went, knocked on that back door, and after a minute, Bobby Lashley opened up the door, and I was just like in my head, like, I'm fucked. Like that's that's my competition.
He's not human.
You know, and I was pretty jacked at the time, but wow.
No,
he doesn't even look real in person. Like he looks amazing on TV, but like in real life, he is just a monster.
I can confirm. And I heard that Shelton Benjamin doesn't even work out. I was like, fuck.
No, he used to. He used to. I remember too when I was. This was before I got hired. I got to be good friends with Shelton just because we would see each other as I was an extra. He lived in Minnesota. I lived in Minnesota, and we just started talking. And then we both were. Shelton's a huge gamer, so we would get together and hang out. And then I remember like I called him one day and I was like, "Hey, you want to go hit the gym?" And he was like, You're probably gonna be, everybody's pissed off at me about this, but like I don't work out." And I was like, "You don't work out?" "No, I don't work out, and I eat whatever I want." And like just one of the most athletic human beings I've ever seen in my life. So, but if you look at Shelton Benjamin from, the early when was it? It'd be 2000. like 2003, 2004, right when he first got there with Charlie. Versus now, he's probably gained to like 30 or 40 pounds now. He's humongous. Now he works out.
I saw him and was like, nah, my arse. There's that word again. My
Yeah.
arse, he doesn't work out. Like the guy, him and Bobby Lashley were just like, you know, that way where they're not walking through anywhere without people going, where did they come from?
I don't know what that guy does, but it's like something like
Oh, 100%.
he's somebody. That's
See, my only thing about Bobby Lashley, and this was a thought I had when I was a kid, because he came on my screen when I was a kid, right? He's like Brock Lesnar, probably even more cut and in shape than Brock Lesnar, right?
yeah.
But he always had like a very sweet baby face.
Oh yeah.
And I thought to myself, that's no menacing. Do you know what I mean? Like when he was a bad guy, he was a heel. I'd be like, he needs to grow a beard or something. He needs to do something. He finally whatever clicked when he was when the Hurt Business kicked off.
Yeah.
And he was WWE champ in WWE. I thought there it is, his intensity, like really, whatever, something clicked. But for many years, I was like, he's just too sweet faced. Like he's got everything, but I can't take him as a bad guy because he's too sweet. Do you know? Does that make sense to anybody else?
No,
Or is
yeah,
that just
like-
me. Yeah.
He is that guy. He's just a sweet guy. Like he's
Yeah.
he doesn't have a bad bone in his body.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
he's just a very, very soft-spoken man. To me, that's scarier than somebody growling and like that guy could. And I've witnessed it. I've seen him. He used to roll with guys down at OVW. He would get in the ring and wrestle with them. And I remember like he's in the ring with somebody like Daniel Pewter at the time, and he was schooling him. So Daniel's trying his hardest to take him down. And Bobby would be like, okay, take your right foot or take your right hand and put it on my waist and then pull. And then like he would, basically tell Pewter how to take him down. And then he would just quickly reverse it and get out of it. It was like he was just toying with him.
Dang. No, that's amazing. He seems like a really cool guy. A lot of time, everybody's said so many nice things about him. He's just that type of guy.
Hell of a guy.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And I'm happy to see him in AEW. He's doing what he does, right? I can never tell. I think the guy, the Hurt Syndicate, MVP, says a lot of things online where I can't make out whether it's real or not. So I suppose that's a good thing, right? I can't tell if they're genuinely like pissed off at something or if it's just part of what they're doing. I think they're doing really well, and I think it's a shame that the Hurt Business kind of was just like, right, that's that wrapped up. Let's get that way. That was something, right? When it's sometimes so hard in wrestling to get a really believable, solid group, right? They had everything in WWE, and I felt like it was just. Did you feel like it was cut short? Did you catch much of that?
I didn't catch. I didn't catch any of it.
What a shame. He during the pandemic era, then coming out of it, there was a point where Bobby Lashley was the WWE champion, and he was going up against Drew at WrestleMania. This was the WrestleMania where it was raining like hell, and I thought this is Drew's moment to take it back, right in front of fans, and I could see it. Drew was like, "There's no way this isn't happening tonight, rain or whatever. I'm going to do it." Right, and I thought, I believe you, Drew. And then Bobby Lashley just fucked him up, and I was like, I was so believing there that I was like, this is when it's great to be a wrestling fan, when two people really go for it, and that's probably the best I've seen of Bobby Lashley for sure.
And that was during Vince, right? Like that was when it wrapped up. Vince was there.
No, Vince. This was Vince's first. This was Vince saying, "Oh no, I'll have to retire out of nowhere," and then Triple H came in. This is the same time NXT was like, "We're all so colorful now," and William Regal was like, "I'm out of here." That during that very time is when,
because I was just speaking of Regal. I was listening to an interview with Regal where it was something he did in the UK that it was like a sit down, and he was talking about how Vince was big on when something would be at its peak, he would pull the plug on it intentionally, like always leave them wanting more. That was sort of his philosophy. Something's working, it's working, and no, not pulling the plug like right at its peak, but I guess like right as it, it reaches its peak, and then, but it's still like super over. He would, all right, let's leave them wanting more because we can go back to it. That was Regal was talking specifically about him as the general manager, like. When Vince ended that, it still had some more legs. So that's more life to it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe that was the situation with the hurt business.
Well, it clearly was, because we all, like, it's that point where when they broke up, everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck? Like, why?" It's like it was just getting good, Matthewman says, "When's Big Drew coming on the show?" We'll have to ask Drew, right? Drew, when are you coming on the show? No, Drew's doing some of the best like interviews, and he's really found his where he's at. He's really found Drew McIntyre.
What an amazing the fact that he wrote his own ticket too. He really he sort of did the Cody thing. Drew didn't quit. He got fired, but went out and just started humping it on the indies and sort of wrote his own ticket.
Yeah.
To go back.
That we see so many people now following the same kind of framework. However, it seems like less people are, going back now. And it's good that there's more options now out there as well. So you don't have to essentially go straight back to WWE.
Yeah.
Well, I think Kanan Nightwolf says Regal is the most underrated wrestler of his
Hey,
era.
I wanted to bring up. Yeah, Regal was good. We were talking about promos. Paul Heyman told me a story one time, specifically about Steve. He said that Brian Gewirtz had written his promo for Raw, and Steve, throughout the day, Brian would, you'd see Brian talking to Steve, and Steve, I guess, didn't really say much. He was just holding it. Well, right, and then
shit, son.
So then they're in gorilla position, and they're about to go live, and Brian's standing there. Vince is sitting at gorilla position, and Paul is right next to him on the headset. And Steve goes, "Hey Vince, you gonna make me go out there and say this horse shit, this happy horse shit? You're gonna let Paul here write some good shit for me." So there's silence. And Paul is Vince. Paul, go ahead. Paul, give me 3 topics. Water, women, and wine. And he went out and cut an on-the-fly promo about water, women, and wine. And he took us through this, peaks and valleys, and he tied it all up, and he put a big bow on it at the end. And he hit and that's the bottom line. And,
that's amazing.
Just crazy. I'd like to find that promo.
It just goes to show, that's a flex, right? That's such a flex. I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin, motherfucker, and don't forget it.
Yep.
That's amazing. See, as you speak there about a writer, Brian Gewirtz. Freddie Prinze Jr. was writing. Was he writing at the same time as you were there?
He was.
And how was that?
I loved Freddie. Too short-lived. I feel like he was only there for a month, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And I just had good interaction with him. I don't believe that he ever actually worked on any of the stuff that I did, but it's just I remember this guy gets wrestling, loves wrestling. And it's obvious, it's still to this day, right? He's got a great mind for the business.
And he talks about the wrestling business still. Like that for me was because even back when he was a writer, it wasn't always talked about who the writers were. So we didn't all know people like Brian Gewirtz. Now we do because there's books and there's podcasts and stuff. So for me, I know what he did last summer, but for me, he was Fred and Scooby-Doo, right?
Scooby-Doo, baby.
Yeah.
100%, right? My wife is the biggest Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. If you look around my house, there's pictures. In fact, there's pictures of my wife and I with the cast, right?
Okay.
So when I was able to tell my wife, do you know who used to write for WWE? For me, that was quite glorious because then my wife kind of listened to what I had to say about wrestling purely because Buffy's real life husband was in the business. I just think that's amazing. And the cool thing is, no one ever sees that. It's like Billy Corgan, right? He's Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. But then he's also like a wrestling guy. Like it's just such a worlds collide, and I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Agreed.
Yeah. So
number four.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The number 4 spot for me is Heyman burying Vince on SmackDown.
I thought that one may come up.
The Survivor Series build up for 2001. Just love it. There's a great interview with Paul where he speaks about this.
Go make me money.
Vince, you want to know what I'm going to say? Does it make me money? Yep. Then I don't care.
I think after it as well.
Draw me money. Wasn't that what he kept saying to him?
Yeah. No? And after it, didn't Vince actually, Vince was visibly upset with him. But
was he?
Like, yeah, because at the end of that interview, he talks about coming back through the curtain and saying to Vince, how was it? And he was just like, So, look, watch the interview again. He says it right at the very end. He says, it's like Vince was offended, but he was like, okay, I asked for this, I think Paul, everybody credits Paul. Exactly. But the great thing about Paul Heyman is he always has the right words to say. And it's not even so much that he's a right promo guy. He's just the right guy in general. I think he can sit down with anybody and go, here's what I see in you. And it is the greatness in you. I mean, I don't think he really gets it wrong.
Paul was so good at, he could find, there were people in OVW that really struggled to find their place, to find their way. And Paul would be able to pick one tiny little thing. There was a guy down there who was having he had a great look. His name was Dean Visk. It's great look. Solid wrestler. Just for whatever reason wasn't connecting. And he cut a promo one time because we'd have promo days with Paul. And he did like an old school 80s, like veins popping, spit flying, kind of a yelling promo. And so Paul took that and ran with it on OVW TV where he would just have him screaming, like he would have him freak out. So I remember we did a thing, and then Paul would he was so good at creatively blending one scene into another, right? Like I remember doing a promo one time or a backstage interview with Maria, and just as we're finishing up, you hear somebody like losing their shit, right? And the camera guy goes, "Whoa, gotta go," and then pulled away and then ran down the hallway into the break room. And there's Dean standing there with the empty pot of coffee going, "There's no coffee." And that was like, and then he'd like beat somebody up over the coffee thing. And then that would be it for him for that week. But it got him on TV and it got his character over. And then the next week they did one where he was in the drive-thru at McDonald's and I asked for no mustard on my hamburger.
Relatable. That's funny. Matthewman actually texted me earlier and was like, "You ever tried the new chicken nuggets? They're spicy from McDonald's." I says, "No, I don't." I don't really eat chicken nuggets, to be honest, mate. I never have. I says, but he says, but I've been waiting in the drive-thru for about fucking 50 minutes here. I says, well, here's a guarantee. They'll get your order wrong and they probably won't give you your sauce, right? Because I don't know what McDonald's are like over where you are, but they're fucking shit here. And then you just scroll down and Matthewman's like, bastards, they got my order wrong. I gave a gif, I put a gif and I was just like, I called it.
My favorite is it's not just McDonald's, but it's like all these fast food chains, like the people working act as though the money from the sauce comes out of their own paychecks.
Oh yeah.
Like when I go to Taco Bell, like I love their fire sauce. You guys have Taco Bell over there?
No, we don't.
I think we've got one or two, do we not?
Do we?
I think there's one in Edinburgh. I've never been.
You basically have to hunt to find one, and it's like oh wow, there's like one.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I feel bad.
Day. We got Five Guys now. We got Five Guys now. You know what you guys have 10 years later, we usually get it.
But
that's all right.
Anastasia, they don't have Taco Bells in Australia either. So when Anastasia came over here, I remember we went the first time I took her to Taco Bell, we spent $80 on an order just. And anyway, like fire sauce, I'll be like, I always say, please give me an obscene amount of fire sauce. And then like I will say that and they'll go, oh yeah, we got you. And I'll have like 10 tacos and I'll get 5 packs of fire sauce. Like,
what's up with that?
What's up with that?
You know, it's the exact opposite though for the packets of salt.
Yeah.
Over here, you'll go, can I, I'll get like a meal for myself and I'll be like, can I get a packet of salt, 2 packets of salt with that? They go, sure, here's 25.
They empty a tray on you.
Yeah. It's like, thanks. I did want diabetes.
They're like, we assumed you already had it. I'm just joking.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
No one's happy anymore to be serving us our food. They don't greet you. They don't say hi. Nothing. They're just like, you're here at McDonald's. What can I get for you? Can I have this, and this, please? No problem. Next window. You go, and then they're like, here you go. And I'm like this to the wife. I'm like, do not drive. Do not. And I make sure they see me. I'm like, wait. And I go in the bag, and I'm like, yep. But guarantee. Sorry, there's like half my order missing. There was one time my wife and I went just for 2 coffees, went through the drive-through window, right?
Yeah.
Can we have 2 coffees? Yeah, no problem. To the next window. They passed us our 2 coffees and then kept passing us food, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, this makes up for everything. And I'm looking at my wife as she's handing me bags after bags, right? And I'm looking at her like this. And we both start uncontrollably laughing. And then we just go, man. So that was the equilibrium of the universe, for all the times they screwed us over. They made up for it that day. The guy behind us probably wasn't having a good night, though.
He ended up having to pull over. I'm going to have you pull over until the...
Why? We keep
got to remake your order. Fuck.
Oh man,
that's fucked up what you did.
Oh no, hell no. They give you order and someone assumes it's for you? Hell no. I was waiting on a good Booker T impression there.
That's fucked up what you did. One time, like I won't get into details, but Shane got into a little bit of a like somebody I don't know if I should say this. Shane accidentally pulled somebody's wig off one time.
Someone we know.
Oh yeah. It was just a little like, she came at him and he was just like, hey.
Right.
And whoop, the fucking wig came off.
Oh no.
And then like the next day, Booker just walked up to him and went, "That's fucked up what you did."
Oh,
And then walked away.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Do you know what? At some point, right? Maybe it's a year from now. Someone is going to make a compilation of all your Booker T impressions. It's going to be glorious. I can't wait. Do you know what? We might even get it animated because I fucking love it. Booker T, I feel like he's on the show with us all the time. Do you know what I mean? He's such a big part of what we do here. Even in the open, that song, you know, "Who got my Red Bull?" It's funny. The people that I know that, the people that I know that tune into this show all are now saying the Booker T shit to me. That you have impersonated, so it's brilliant. Love it.
I have so many, you know, it's like Booker T and Family Guy. Like I have all these references in my brain. Every time something happens, I'm like, that reminds me of a Family Guy skit. That reminds me when Booker T said.
Phenomenal, man.
So
I love watching Booker T. He's so good.
Many of them. He's so good. He's so funny. He's funny, but when he's serious, you know, like it's the whole rainbow of emotions with that guy. He can go
100%.
from super, super serious, I don't want to fuck with this guy, he's gonna eat my lunch, to he's the funniest guy in the world. He's Jim Carrey, you know? Like,
yeah, totally. If you tune into his show, sometimes he'll talk about food, and see when he does it, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Oh, I was eating," and his voice goes all high, and he's like, you can see he's like, "Oh," and I think he'd made him and his wife wings one night, but he praises himself on how good he can make these wings.
Yeah,
and he was just like, "Man, oh," and he's like, I was buckled. Brilliant. I don't think I'll ever get tired of listening to Booker T. And do you know one thing as well? It's really amazing about Booker T. Everybody looks back at that WCW/WWE period where Vince bought the company, and they always say it was how much it was of a clusterfuck. But the number one thing that everybody will always say, we got Booker T. He was the true standout of that period of time.
Yeah,
and he's a double Hall of Famer, 5-time, just phenomenal. Love Booker T.
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
Should we go number 3?
Hell yeah.
let's do it.
The pipe bomb.
Oh,
It had to be in there.
I'm surprised that's not higher. Oh, but we're not really doing it in an order, really, though, right?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, the top 2 are definitely my top 2, like favorite promos. So, pipe bomb. I mean, this was just like, it's just so good, and so what the doctor ordered
At that time, 100%.
So everybody's so fucking frustrated. Everybody wanted to
Say that.
You know, they were living vicariously through CM Punk at that time.
100%.
Just loved it. And there's just one, you know, the one part at the end with the like, oh, they're gonna cut me off, whatever, was the only part that I thought was kind of corny, because like
yeah.
You know, of course it's a work. Like, of course they allowed him to go out there and say this. Like, this is so. That's still my only like nitpick of the promo. So,
by the way, from fans' perspective, for such a long time, we did not think that was scripted. For such a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
100%. So, will we give you our take on that and what that was like for us?
Yeah, please.
So at the time, and it's still, of course, the case, right? But we have to wait up really late. So a lot of the time we would catch things the next day, right? Or we would have an uncle that would, like, at the time it was VHS, like that, because that was still pretty prevalent at that time. They would film, like they would tape it, what we'd call tape it, record it, and then I would get the tape, you know, the next day from them recording it, and I would watch it. That's because I was a kid, right?
Did you not have Sky?
My mum did, but I don't like nobody ever pays like 40 odd pound just to watch wrestling every month, especially back then, right?
True.
So everywhere's talking about it, right? Like an atomic bomb online, right? CM Punk, and all you could see was the images of him sitting at the top of the ramp, and I was like, "What's this all about?" Watched it, and I think I must have watched that a good few hundred times, right? At the time, this was the time where Super Cena, nah, 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 right? Where even just hearing that fucking song
Mhm.
would have you go, "Oh, fuck off, man!" Right? This was at a time where we felt like there were no real new stars, right? You
Yeah.
still got all the guys for the Attitude Era, all the top guys from the Ruthless Aggression Era. This was that tweener. Remember how it says a real good moment or promo changes the wind, and
Mhm.
this felt like that.
Yeah.
So we at the time were like, "Wow, this is so real. This has to be real." And the fact that he didn't show up until like he won Money in the Bank, which by the way, listen to that audience. Right, that turned CM Punk from I wouldn't even say he wasn't even a true main eventer. He was someone that he was like higher mid card that was poking his head at the main event, and you could still see him trying to get up. But he went from there to then becoming an attraction,
Mhm.
100%. The thing is, like we never knew that it was a work because it was just so it was not done. Point to where that happened before. Point to something. And I know that go to ECW, different ball game. Joey Styles, I suppose, to an extent, but CM Punk done it in such a way like you.
Harry Beaver cleavage.
Well,
Remember
by the
that?
way, no Harry Beaver cleavage.
It was Chaz from the Headbangers. They were doing a Harry Beaver cleavage. He was doing this like ridiculous Leave It to Beaver gimmick, and then they had him doing. He had like the little fucking hat with the little propeller on top. And
Yes, no, I do
they're
remember. Yeah,
interviewing him, and he
Mhm.
just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. This is ridiculous. And he walked off. And for
Yeah.
years, I thought it was like legit because
Mhm.
Raw was live at the time, and then we didn't. They never peeled the curtain back at all.
Mhm.
So for years, I thought that was a shoot, and
Amazing.
I just found out recently, like, no, that was scripted.
Of
So
course,
anyway,
right?
yeah, go ahead.
No, no. No, I was just saying. So at that time, everything, we the fans were frustrated because everything was just very samey.
Yeah.
And at that very point, we were like, right, nah, there's no way that that's not real.
Yeah.
He then comes back eventually, and he's got a new theme song, Cult of Personality, right? And we're thinking to ourselves, all right, this was where they got it right with the small details. We're like, Vince had to give him what he wanted to get him back, right? This is why his theme song changed because he must have been like, do you know what? I want the ice cream bars. I want, and that then became the Summer of Punk, which, to be honest, from there he has never cooled down from that ever.
Nah, they fumbled so many things about it though. At the same time,
Of course, but they definitely, and there was a good long time where there was a wrestling page called Cena Cannot Wrestle, and it had like 1 million followers, and it would always just be memes about John Cena. Like, we're at a point now where people appreciate Cena, right, for his work in the industry. There's the dark undertones of John Cena that are still truly yet to be explored. I watched an interview with Tyler Rex, who is now Gabby. I can't remember the surname. And at the time, he was just going off on like his interactions with Cena. That was always hinted, and people always, even Ryback. I watched it was a reel that he put out recently talking about how the Shield almost became like the Nexus because Cena had to win. It's like this was that time where you would see them come up, Super Cena, and I'm not saying that it's Cena's fault or anything. I don't know, right? But there was a trend, and it was let's feed them to Cena, let's feed them to Cena, and their career, like they never truly. There were certain cases, and that could be a future episode, by the way.
Well, I will say this: it will be a future episode when we get when we get to 100,000 subscribers.
100%. I'm looking forward to that because there's so many, and that's one thing you guys hear. Dirt sheets run with that.
Yeah.
There are,
And I'll say it too, like the other thing that I hated about the pipe bomb was Cena's ridiculous fake selling that he's in the ring.
yeah,
Just
It's not
watch
as
it
bad
back.
as the reverse that happened a few months ago.
Oh.
everybody said that was amazing. I just didn't think. I don't know. It's like Cena's pipe bomb. It's not a pipe bomb if you're recreating something that someone's already done.
Cena had a pipe bomb recently.
It was during his feud with CM Punk, and it's where he put CM Punk through a table and then sat on the turnbuckle and was like, he would, I hope you're sitting as uncomfortable as you possibly can, so everybody knows where we're going. It's
Right,
like
right.
if I said this to you right now, they say all men are created equal. Everybody knows where the fuck I'm going with that, right? It's the same thing. There were shades of the pipe bomb, but a pipe bomb is a pipe bomb for a reason. You can't recreate it and then call it your pipe bomb. That's not a pipe bomb. So to me, it didn't make sense. But to others, they loved it, and I'm glad people loved it. But yeah.
Speaking about the pipe bomb, another, it's in my top 10 but it's so very similar. And I feel like if you played them side by side, they're almost identical in their content, is the Fire Me Tony Khan, MJF.
Yeah, you fucking mark.
Yeah. Which is just so great. Such a great promo. But I seriously, like, it's so similar in so many different ways.
I think I thought that was great, and we all knew it wasn't legit, but I thought it was great in the execution of it, because MJF, who ghosted us on Wednesday, he wasn't at Dynamite, no chance. They played a thing on the screen like he was backstage, but obviously wasn't in the country. But I'm okay because I've had my fix of MJF. I saw him in London, but but for a lot of people in Glasgow, that people bought their tickets to see MJF and he wasn't there.
Damn.
It is what it is, right? Stuff happens. But that was a big letdown. But that was a good promo. His essentially a pipe bomb. Like anything MJF does is great, and I think it would be good to see him in the future.
You guys, money. Number 4. Steiner math.
Oh man. They say all men are created equal. If that's not the number one, like I knew we were going to go there. Like, knew it.
Fucking Steiner math, man. Like and unintentional by it's become such an iconic promo, and that wasn't his.
100%.
It was his intention to do a good promo, but like. It wasn't his intention for like the reason why it's cemented into people's Mount Rushmore of promos, right? Like it's just so.
I think for a good
crazy.
time.
So crazy.
He didn't even know that it had become like legend for quite a good amount of time that it did.
It just makes no sense whatsoever, which is fucking beautiful.
Has anybody ever watched Steiner in WCW? Like with his promos then? Hey, Ric Flair! They call you the Nature Boy, but they should have hired the real Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers. But they can't because he's dead. It's like, what the fuck are you saying, mate?
Just the delivery.
No care, no filter, zero fuck.
So good, man. I think that's what I've always loved about Scott Steiner. Is like, if you go back, like there is compilations. See, when I see Scott Steiner promo compilation and I'm like 45 minutes, I'm like, fucking here we go. I'm here for the next 45
Yeah, I get
minutes.
it. Well, I'm gonna have to check that out. That's definitely going on my little watch later list.
he has to have real beef with Ric Flair, right? Because some of his best promos are against Ric Flair. He's like, look at all that loose skin. This was back in the WCW days.
Mojo, you're a fat ass.
Yeah, that curl angle to the mix, your numbers drastic go down. I love his delivery of like there's a video on YouTube that literally comes up and it's just a complete subtitle and it cuts out words because it's like you can hear him stumbling and then he goes back and forth. Oh man, Steiner Math will
He
always
like
get me.
smashes syllables together, right? Like it's not Samoa
100%.
Joe, it's Samoa Joe.
Mojo and Kurt
Samoa
Angle
Joe.
knows, mate. What is it he says? He says the numbers don't lie and they spell disaster.
It's like a fucking proper old school Ultimate Warrior promo.
Oh,
Almost.
hell yeah. But better, man. But
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Scott
Yeah.
Steiner is the gift that keeps on
Yeah.
giving. Did you see that?
Beautiful.
It was his son. It was his son's birthday.
Did
Did I send it to you? I sent it to you, yeah.
Yeah.
And he recreated the promo on Twitter.
I mean, fucking Shakespeare right there. Like, I was shocked, man. Like he wrote that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's art, man.
It totally
That
is.
right there it's poetry.
It so is. And I
So
think
good. So
he
very
is
good.
on the Mount Rushmore of promos. I don't think we got in it in good. Oh, we did. We did. There was Jericho talked about when Steiner came to WWE. He was like, I can't quote it for sure, but he was like, the idea was that Jericho was going to come out and say, "Who do you think you are?" Like Shakespeare or something or King George or something, like something quite old in that sense, with a chainmail, right?
Mhm.
So they knew each other's back and forth. Jericho comes out. He's supposed to be the one saying like, "Who do you think you are, King Arthur?" Right, with the chainmail, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But Scott stole the line during the promo live on TV and is like, "You think you're King Arthur? I'll come up there and I'll kick your ass." And Jericho's like, "No, I'm supposed to call you King Arthur." It's just beautiful. I think no matter what, even like, I think if he fumbled a promo, it only makes it even better. You know, like he's just so good, man. I'm glad you picked that because that's definitely on the Mount Rushmore.
Number one. My number one. There was no stumbling or bumbling in this promo. This is by far my favorite promo, and I know it front, back. I can recite it. On to badass Billy Gunn. The night you won King of the Ring, you got down on your knees, you put your hands together, and you said a prayer, and it sounded like this. Oh, dear God. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Damn. Austin.
No, the Billy Gunn, Austin, or The Rock, Billy Gunn talking to God promo. It's like my favorite promo ever of all time.
Yeah.
I would know.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yo.
I think I do. I think I have seen this one.
It's
Not
The
for a
Rock.
while.
So The Rock and Billy Gunn.
The Rock versus Billy Gunn. It was a build up to a match
Yeah,
they
dude.
had. And Billy
Did
Gunn
he
had just won King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm. No, I do
And
remember.
so Rock was talking about, and he was basically mocking Billy
Mm-hmm.
and talking about how Billy was praying to God and God spoke to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ground started to shake, the heavens up, and God himself spoke to you and said this, Bob, but my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Yeah, I do remember it. And do you know, for many years, people have often asked Billy Gunn, like, "Here, was that not a bit personal? Did he bury you?" And Billy Gunn's like, "Of course not. It's the fucking Rock." And like,
Business.
brilliant. There's another super fucking human, right? Because I was like, "Oh, we're here at a collision taping, and we never saw Billy Gunn." Guess what happened the minute I said that?
Boom.
I was like, "Oh yes." They're using like some sort of DX knockoff theme, even the
Okay.
graphics and everything.
Yeah.
But Billy Gunn came out and I was like, there's a fucking superhuman, man. Look at the size of that guy.
He's
I
not real.
always loved Billy Gunn. Back when he was Mr. Ass, I loved it.
Yeah.
Shame that we never seen him like. Don't get me wrong, the career he's had and what we did see of him was amazing.
Yeah.
I think that he was most definitely one of those guys that you say he could have been champion and it would have been great. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so good. Was it? I love how one of my favorite off-air promos he said during an interview was, Road Dogg likes to feel good, Billy likes to look good.
That's
Billy
such
said
a... Billy said that, yeah. It was during an interview. He says basically like people asking how come you're so jacked and all that. And Road Dogg is. Do you remember when they came back in 2012?
Yeah.
They never missed a beat as a New Age Outlaws.
No, they're still awesome.
So spoiled.
Yeah.
Like we were so spoiled.
As I said, I wasn't watching. I didn't watch WWE not one time between the years 2009 and probably like 2014. I just literally didn't want to know about it. Didn't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
That's
I
actually a
can
very
imagine.
good point, though, to be honest. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, Ken. You know, you're great as a singles wrestler. You've got your own character, but then you're put in a tag team program.
Mm-hmm.
What's the concern there that I don't want to be too good at being a tag team guy, because look at how many guys are great on their own, but boom, they do well as a tag team. Now you're a tag team guy for the rest of your career. Or for a long period of time, because it happens to so many great wrestlers.
Yeah, that never occurred to me. Like that's something I don't think I was ever worried about. I just always felt like I was a singles wrestler. You know, loved the stuff that I did with MVP, but in doing the tag, it was that sort of like reluctant. We fucking hated each other.
Of course.
But we'll do this. You know, we just had tons of fun doing that.
You definitely have that about you. Like any tag team that you would be in would be like you would clearly be someone that looks like a single star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think they could. Usually, some of the best tag teams look like they belong in a tag team. Like Bubba and Devon, they look like they belong. Matt and Jeff Hardy, right?
Yeah.
Christian and Edge, the Road Warriors,
Motor City Machine Guns.
100%. They just look like they're supposed to. The Usos, for obvious reasons, you know. The Mega Powers.
Yeah.
They just. Funny enough, remember I told you about that Hogan botch where he was talking to Vince McMahon and he couldn't get it right.
You're not allowed to say the word botch, by the way.
Oh, is that
Strike that from your vernacular.
But what about Botchamania? Like I'll never be able to.
That's the only way you're allowed to say it.
Okay.
I'm with Jericho on this. I've seen Jericho talk about this. I fucking hate the word botch.
Really?
Yeah.
We can talk. Well, I'm half kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not like.
What word would you replace it with?
Fuck up. It was a mistake. It was an accident.
I think botch is a nicer word than fuck up. No? Is it just because of how it's being used?
It's just like such a it was like those fans that like thought they were in the know. So it's those fans that used to come up to me and go like, "Hey man, how's Mark doing?" And I would be like, "Who's?" And I know who they were talking about, right? Like,
Mark Henry.
Who are you talking about? Which Mark?
Yeah.
Well, the Undertaker. Like, fucking nobody calls him Mark.
Yeah. I didn't even know his name was Mark until when? In fact, I think when the internet came around, because that's when you could no one knew anybody's real name unless they were, and even when they were in TV series or like Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan in Thunder in Paradise. You know, it wasn't Terry Bollea.
Terry, right?
Terry, right? How's Terry doing? Well, here is that. I wanted you to hear it, right? I've made a small snippet of it. Hopefully, it doesn't get us taken off, but it's so funny that I need to let you hear it. Okay.
If you actually actually think I was just the right guy at the right place at the right time, let me say it one more time so you completely understand, McMahon. If you actually believe in your mind, if you actually think that I was just the right guy at the right place at the right time, well, then you're a bigger delusional bastard than I thought you were, McMahon.
The best part of that, though, is, right, when you watch it, Hogan's stumbling, but Vince is obviously having to react for the camera, but he's just standing there like, and he's obviously registering to Hogan like, what the fuck are you trying to say? It goes on, and that's one of my favorite where it comes to, because I think that's where true like comedy is, and things that are slip ups. And I think it's out. There we go. Outtakes, bloopers.
It's a mistake.
Aye, so that would be a good word to use instead of botch. A blooper.
Botch. I just hate it. Like I honestly, like, I've heard newer wrestlers use it, but like nobody else ever called it a botch. Like nobody.
There was, when I was at AEW recently on Wednesday night Dynamite, something happened, and everybody was shouting, "You fucked up! You fuck." I disagree with that. Like you, I never shout that. Like, I wouldn't shout that. Oh, you fucked up! Like, and what other part of life would you go up to someone and be like, "You fucked up"? Like, that's just so mean.
Should do it at McDonald's drive-through window from now on.
Oh, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. McDonald's botch.
It makes sense. I guess it
border.
Yeah. It makes sense if you're a heel.
Mm-hmm.
You want that kind of energy from the crowd. Like, fans are ready to pounce on you because you're a dick. And I want to,
Yeah.
But
I get that.
But they'll do it. So like they're waiting on anybody to, it's like, we can't wait to say this.
Yeah,
they can be quite vicious at times. I remember
it can be like very mean spirited, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember. 100%. I think it was about the best part of a year ago now, and LA Knight's got this spot where he jumps up the top rope. He's on the second rope. He jumps up the top, springboards off, and does an elbow. And I think 2 weeks in a row, he just missed it. He slipped a little bit, and he had to redo it. And after the second time, there was loads of articles saying, "Oh, he shouldn't do this move, anymore. He can't do it. He's botching it every week." It's like, geez, it doesn't look like the easiest move to do. Out of his moveset, probably one of the more difficult moves to execute. Mm. But I mean, who's just some random fan to say, "Oh, you shouldn't do this anymore"?
Oh no, yeah.
Right.
Hey,
and there it is. Like, it's okay to have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know, just don't be a dick, right? And then, like, at the end of the day, these people are actual people with real feelings and emotions, and what we're doing is difficult, and no other business. Like, it's one take. We have literally one take. You watch a movie where there's tons of high risk maneuvers and stunts. These stuntmen are taking dozens of takes.
Mm-hmm. And they've got a net. You don't have a net.
Yeah.
And most of them don't end their career like in pain.
Yep.
Most of them, I say, because I do believe there are some.
They got pads. They're falling on pads and stuff like that, right? Like, even I remember doing what I did behind Enemy Lines Columbia, and I'm like ready to take a back bump on the ground because that's just what we do. And like the stunt people would, even for like small falls, they would have padding in their back
You're just
to protect their bodies. And I remember thinking at the time, like, pussy. But
yeah, there was.
I'll just do it. I'll just take it. But who's the smart? Here I am waking up every morning.
Do you know?
Takes me a little bit to get going.
I said
hobbling
something
around.
I said something to the guys when we were watching AEW, and I want to get your take on this, right? See, with all the money that's in wrestling now, so you've got Tony Khan, right? a bazillionaire, and you've got WWE, which is, of course, they've got like endless revenue streams.
They got money.
Wouldn't it make sense? And have you ever heard of this? Wouldn't it make sense to design a new ring that is more forgiving on the performers' bodies? Surely there is someone out there that can go, well, do you know what? See if we removed this and added maybe carbon fiber or something that keeps the integrity of the ring, the sound, and because they updated it with LED boards, they updated the turnbuckles, right?
That's a good idea. That's actually a great idea.
Why the fuck wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go, let's make a ring that takes at least 50% of the damage you'll do because bumps, right? Bump guard.
Yeah,
Let's
totally. That's a great idea.
Design something.
Mm-hmm.
Do they? What would prevent that? Is it money? It's not money.
No.
So what is it? Is it just a lack of innovation?
Yeah, I think it's just I don't think anybody's ever thought of it, but it makes perfect sense. If there's something that, like you said, it's got to look. It can't look like a trampoline, right? Like it can't have a bounce.
Of course,
to it. It's got to look like it's solid. But if there's there has to be some sort of product out there that where you can take a bump and it looks the same, but does 50% less damage to your body long term. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Imagine you show up at a show, right? Whichever of the major companies, and someone goes, "Ken, come with me, take a bump," and you go, "Right?" Like, can you imagine that conversation? Right?
Home.
I'd be I might be doing 450s and stuff like that. You never know.
Go back to that. I've built a ring up from scratch. I was part of the ring crew, like everybody that starts in it is. I know exactly what it looks like and how it's made, how you create it. I just think, with all the money out there, Tony Khan should be the guy to. Right? If there's anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him. Like, design a new fucking ring that keeps the integrity, but really looks after the people. We'll take one more question if you're up for that, Ken, and then we will say good night. It's been a great 2 hours so far. Krei, this is the perks of being a member. Matthewman, what would Ken's dream movie role be as a seasoned veteran actor here?
Dream movie role, like an Indiana Jones type of. I love those movies. The Goonies, like treasure hunting, like National Treasure, The Goonies, Indiana Jones, like that kind of stuff.
Kind of stuff The Rock does now. Everything that's set in the jungle to find the hidden treasure.
Yeah.
I think like you can take 5 scenes from 5 different Rock movies and put them together, and it looks like the same movie, right?
I feel like, I feel like when The Rock was in WWE back in the day, like he was always willing to take the piss out of himself.
Yeah.
Right? Like he would do things and be put in situations that made him look kind of silly sometimes. Like like we talked earlier about the Austin Angle cowboy hat thing. Right? Like it's Angle looking silly, but at no point did anybody go like, he's a fucking joke now. We can't take him seriously because he did that. He made himself look like an idiot. No. I feel like Rock never does that in any of his movies. Like there's this missing element of comedy. He had such great comedic timing that I don't know why it doesn't exist in his movies.
Well, it does in one for sure. Have you seen a movie called Be Cool?
No, I did, but it was so long ago. He plays a gay guy in that movie, right?
100% brilliant. That's probably one of my favorite roles.
Did he lean into it?
Did he lean into it? Have you never seen the music video of him performing as Loretta Lynn? Nope. You ain't woman enough to take my man. God, I'm gonna send you that shit, mate. Yeah. It's the sequel to Get Shorty. John Travolta, Uma Thurman, and these people, right? Yeah. He plays a gay character that's trying to get into acting, but he'll break your face at the same time, right? Gotcha. So everything on paper that shouldn't be tough guy, he turns into tough guy. Phenomenal, and no one ever talks about that Rock role. I'm going to send you some clips, Ken, and you're going to change your
Good.
opinion on that. But
Well,
I
no,
agree.
but the thing was that was his
Yeah.
second or third movie that he did.
Yeah.
Like now we're 50 movies deep,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always the same, like real serious, hard ass.
Yeah.
I want to see that like later. John Cena, like he's had some funny ass movie roles, and he's not afraid to like put himself out there. That cock blockers is fucking. He's so
Phenomenal.
good.
I was
So
screaming
good.
at that.
Ricky Stanicki. Have you seen Ricky?
That was
Stanicki?
good. Yeah, that was really good.
So
the newest one,
ridiculous.
I didn't enjoy the newest one. The one where Idris Elba, isn't it? Where they're both the president and the governor.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen it.
It's
No.
this wasn't. You might enjoy it. Wasn't for me. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
But Ricky Stanicki was class, and I think he was in Barbie as well. He plays a mermaid.
I saw that.
Yep. And the Peacemaker season 2 is just
I
coming.
haven't seen. I have not seen. So I've seen the first. What was the movie that spun off from?
It was Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. I've seen the first Suicide Squad, and I literally have just gotten to the part in the second one where Cena's character is introduced.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen that.
His character in the Suicide Squad is quite the heel, right?
Okay.
But the series, as he does heelish stuff, but is ultimately a good character.
Oh,
Kind of
gotcha.
like the reverse of real John Cena. So I've heard.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't know him. But there are whispers. 100K
100,000.
subs, guys. I don't know why the dirt sheets aren't like promoting
Let's
this.
talk
Like,
about it. Let's talk about it.
100K and you guys get what you want. But yeah, it's been excellent. Ken, I could talk to you for 10 hours and never get bored, and that's why everybody's stuck with us as well. Love it. We are truly blessed to be doing this, and it's been a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Is there anything coming up that you would like everybody to know? Anything happening?
Man, there is. I just can't think of it off the top of my head right now. You can please, as you see on the screen there, if you're interested in becoming a professional wrestler, reach out to me. Go to the academy, sopw.com. You can contact us directly. You can text me. You can. Please don't call me. Don't call me. Just text me. 507-722-2776.
Yeah.
I did an interview last week and I almost gave out my my real number, my like non-business line. It was crazy.
What you like. No, amazing. This has been a great episode, and we've got some really cool episodes coming up as well. So stay tuned. Keep your eye on the YouTube because I go there first to let all you guys know what's coming up. If you are a member, which now we have some, which is amazing, thank you very much. But if you're a member, you'll get all this information first because you guys are part of the ship, the mothership. Matthew says thanks again, guys. Guys, it's been amazing. Ken, thank you as always. Until next week.
The pleasure has been all yours.
100%. See you next week, guys. Take it
Ciao.
easy.